Hello, Gilly Nontopa. My name is Greg Courage Pa. Haven't you heard about Focal Online TV?
You say Focal Online TV?
Focal Online TV is located within a Tobo village community along the Japanese highway.
Tell me more about the platform.
This platform, called Focal Online TV Daily Edition of Inside the Print Media, does not encourage any form of dialogue between the viewers and the presenters.
Oh, you mean nobody calling there?
No, you can't call on a show. Let me talking out like when we're no calling there. So all you can do is you will listen to the news, and they can also encourage you to buy the newspaper to listen to the news in details.
But do you do viewer recognition at times?
Oh yes, we do viewer recognition. When you are watching, we notify you, and sometimes we even appreciate you on a show, telling you thank you for always following us. We also encourage you to share the live stream, because the more you share the live stream, we transform and we transition ourselves as a broadcast team as well.
Wow. So when can I better get this program you are talking about?
This program is aired every Monday to Friday at 10 a.m. to 10:45. The program runs for 45 minutes.
Wow.
And guess what?
Wow.
We bring you hot stories of our trending situation within our country, Liberia. Imagine hearing stories from Hot Pepper newspaper, from the Daily Observer newspaper, from Front Page Africa. Are you a lover of Front Page Africa?
Oh yes, I'm a lover of
Front Page Africa, and the Women Voices, and a lot more. Not forgetting international news, BBC,
wow.
CNN, ABC News. We bring you headlines from those standpoints.
Wow, that is very, very, very amazing.
So we say, join us every day on the daily edition of Inside the Print Media at 10 a.m. with the headline
Focal TV, bringing you innovation to broadcasting, news, views, comments, and analysis of issues happening in Liberia and the rest of the world.
Hello dear, my name is K. Lyndon Toba. I'm in search of a platform where I can get credible information of our daily happenings in Liberia and the world at large.
Hello, Gilly Nontopa. My name is Greg Courage Pa. Haven't you heard about Focal Online TV?
You say Focal Online TV?
Focal Online TV is located within a Tobo village community along the Japanese highway.
Tell me more about the platform.
This platform, called Focal Online TV Daily Edition of Inside the Print Media, does not encourage any form of dialogue between the viewers and the presenters.
Oh, you mean nobody calling there?
No, you can't call on a show. Let me talking out like when we're no calling there. So all you can do is you will listen to the news, and they can also encourage you to buy the newspaper to listen to the news in details.
But do you do viewer recognition at times?
Oh yes, we do viewer recognition. When you are watching, we notify you, and sometimes we even appreciate you on a show, telling you thank you for always following us. We also encourage you to share the live stream, because the more you share the live stream, we transform and we transition ourselves as a broadcast team as well.
Wow. So when can I better get this program you are talking about?
This program is aired every Monday to Friday at 10 a.m. to 10:45. The program runs for 45 minutes.
Wow.
And guess what?
Wow.
We bring you hot stories of our trending situation within our country, Liberia. Imagine hearing stories from Hot Pepper newspaper, from the Daily Observer newspaper, from Front Page Africa. Are you a lover of Front Page Africa?
Oh yes, I'm a lover of
Front Page Africa, and the Women Voices, and a lot more. Not forgetting international news, BBC,
wow.
CNN, ABC News. We bring you headlines from those standpoints.
Wow, that is very, very, very amazing.
So we say, join us every day on the daily edition of Inside the Print Media at 10 a.m. with the headlines of top stories in our country and the world at large on Focal Online TV.
Welcome to the program Inside the Print Media on Focal Online TV, where we bring you all of the major happenings relative to the political space, to the emerging developments in Liberia and the world at large. So for today's edition of the program Inside the Print Media, we will just give you a few of the paper, that's to say, we will be giving you news from the Daily Observer newspaper. We will be looking at the Front Page Africa newspaper, and we will also be looking at the New Dawn newspaper, and we will dive into other critical issues that that is in connections to our electoral process in Liberia. I have a different observations owing to the fact that since we went to the pool, some of those things that I have observed, some of those people, the two sizes, it has been obvious that the two sizes that participated in the electoral process have now been claiming victory since the closure of the pool. I believe that such attitude exhibited by the two political institutions are very wrong. I think if we want to claim victory, we should wait patiently for the National Elections Commission to actually announce the results. Other than that, we should remain patient. We should exercise the greatest restraint as possible and wait on the National Elections Commission to do their job that they are clothed with the mantle of authority to actually do. But then a lot of people have been claiming victories the year and so. You understand? So this is very, very bad for our democracy. And I think this is about time that the conscious minded people, media practitioners, speak towards this particular thing, because if things go wrong in Liberia today, you and I will be the victims of whatever goes wrong in Liberia. So my name is K. Lyndon Tokba. So I will be giving you all of the trending developments as it relates to all of the mentioned newspaper I read to you earlier on. So we have the Daily Observer newspaper. Waka leads, but can he defeat President Weah? Waka leads, but can he defeat President Weah? That is the biggest question. Waka leads, but can he defeat President Weah? So let's give you the news story. Former Vice President Joseph Boakai has taken a slim lead over President George Weah. The National Elections Commission disclosed as it began releasing results from the November 14 runoff elections. Boakai has secured a vote of 193,041, amounting to 50.71% of the tally, while President Weah closely follows with 187,615 votes, representing 49.29% according to the initial results released by the Electoral Body on November 15. These figures encompass 23.33% of the tally results from 1,315 polling places out of 5,890 polling places nationwide. Both candidates are, however, performing relatively well in their respective stronghold as they lead in several counties respectively. However, results from Grand Cru, a traditional stronghold of President Weah, are yet to be announced, as Boakai is performing strongly in 4 of the county top vote-rich counties: Montserrado, Nimba, Margibi, and Lofa. According to analysis, if the former vice president can establish a compelling lead in these counties, it could strengthen his prospects for the presidency, as the vote share of these counties combined is larger than the others. For Weah or Boakai to win, analysts noted that it could depend on who performs better in the areas traditionally loyal to their opponent. If Weah were to lose the elections, it could mark a historic moment in Liberian politics, making him the first president in the nation's history to be denied a second term. Boakai, on the other hand, could become the second presidential candidate to return a former ruling party to power since 1878, when the True Way Party achieved this feat. A potential victory for Weah could also be groundbreaking, with him becoming the first candidate in Liberia history to defeat the same political opponent twice. In 2017 runoff, Weah secured a decisive win against Bwaka with a 61.5% to 38.5% margin in the runoff after winning the first round of the elections. The dynamics have, however, shifted in 2023, with Bwaka putting up a formidable fight in the first round, securing 43.44% of the vote compared to Weah's 43.83%. The results team margin lead to a runoff as neither candidate reached the constitutional requirement of 50% plus one vote. Voting data from the electoral body, however, shows widespread discontent with the Weah administrations among Liberians, as 57 of the 1.5 million people that voted then did for opposition candidates in the first round. The analyst noted signals a significant shift in public sentiment about Weah, who came to power in 2017, riding on the promise to tackle corruption and improve livelihood, for which he faced criticism as his failure to deliver on these commitments. The president, in response, has cited external factors such as the coronavirus pandemic and other consequences of the Russia-Ukraine war, of the economic challenges faced by the promises to root out corruption and improve livelihoods. He remains confident in his achievement, pointing to initiatives like the introduction of the tuition-free policy at the University of Liberia, the payment of WASS fees, among others. In the latest Gallup poll conducted just before October election, 54% approved the president's jobs performance, down from 65% in 2022, making him somehow the favorite to retain power. However, the Gallup poll revealed that 56% of the Liberians felt that the standard of living in the country was getting worse, while 74% reported not having enough money for food in the past years, and 32% felt safe walking alone at night in 2022, among the lowest in the world. The winner will likely whomever Liberians think offers the best chance of combating a multitude of issues, including poverty, corruption, and safe consent, Gallup said. Bwaka, who framed his campaign on this issue as a rescue mission, said, Liberia has become a declining state under Weah's administration, which he wants to rescue. He contested the runoff elections after securing the endorsement of 3 of the 4 best performing candidates. Elsewhere, the electoral body has won the ruling coalitions of Democratic Change and the Unity Party that claiming victory and celebrating in the street without waiting for the final results is wrong against the country electoral law. So with this being said, we move over to another headlines. NEC rejects Unity Party claims amid voting controversy. NEC rejects Unity Party's claim amid voting controversy. The National Elections Commission has dismissed the Unity Party allegations of the commission sanctioned the public announcement for voter names before allowing them to cast their votes. David Etta Brown Lasana, the commission chairperson, stated during a press briefing yesterday that both the coalitions of Democratic Change and the UP sought approval to audibly call out voters' names while party agents check against the final registration rule. However, the meeting failed to materialize as only one party showed up. Lasana, however, refrained from disclosing the party that did not attempt to certify the proposed agreement. The Elections Commission did not approve any memorandum of understanding between political parties. That is false. At no point did the commission endorse such an agreement. She said, we received letters from the Unity Party and the CDC on similar issue. We invited them for a meeting to discuss their concern. They agreed on a standard operating procedure, but one party said yes, while the other party choose not to show up. The commission's rejection follows report as some polling places names of voters were announced, allowing them to vote. Upon receiving outlines from the NEC, released a statement instructing staff to cease calling out names to move contested by the Unity Party, accusing the commissions of undermining and thwarting the run-out results. Unity Party is troubled by the press statement from the National Elections Commission, calling on its polling staff to reject and discontinue a process whereby a voter entering the polling room will state his or her name to the Commission's voter identification officer, Brown said. The NEC chairperson added, we strongly believe that within a 3-foot distance, party agents will have the opportunity to hear the name of any voter and verify whether they are fully listed on the FRR. Was issued to all political parties by NEC to verify whether a voter is fully captured and listed in it. In a communication to NEC data, October 24, UP informed NEC that it will issue a high copies of the FRR to the poll watchers to validate the authenticity of a voter entering a polling room. Such action, Lasana said, compromised the secrecy of the voting process. If post voter agrees, when you approach the polling staff, they take your card, check your name, and look into the FRR. When they found your name, they gave you your ballot. However, the party agents were instructed electoral staff to use the FRR in their possession to identify voters. This is not part of the procedure, and we will not tolerate it. This has gone too far, and we are going to surround the commission's work into the hands of political parties. The FRR contains information about every registered voters, including names, picture, managed by polling staff to check and verify a voter legitimacy. Once a voter enters a polling center, NEC chairman noted that they are required to present their card to NEC staff, who will check for the name and picture. If found, the voter must be given a ballot paper to mark. Meanwhile, the NEC chairperson has called on Liberia to fulfill its role to adequately inform the commissions of any mafians, but the commission finds it challenging to trust the media. The way you don't trust us, we don't trust you. She responded to questions from numerous journalists about alleged irregularities. With this being said, this is how we move over to the New Dawn newspaper. New Dawn newspaper, the headlines here is that police investigate man for gun at polling center. Police investigate men with gun at polling center. Police investigate men with gun at polling center. Police in Nima County are interrogating a 42-year-old man, Othello M. Mason, after he was arrested with a single barrel gun at Gapley Polling Center with code 33042. Speaking to reporter suspect, Othello G. Mensah confirmed being in possession of a single barrel gun, but explained that he is a local businessman in Gapley Town and had gone to distribute flashlights to CDC poll workers in the Gapley Polling Center. Suspect Mason is currently in police custody, facing interrogation. Meanwhile, the mayor of Ganta, Amos N.G. Swai, in Nima County Electoral District 7, defeated Representative Roger S.W. Duman, allegedly attempting to mobilize some ruling party supporters to disrupt voting counting process in Ganta and Sackley P. The New Dawn gathered a group of individuals believed to be voters who crossed into Liberia from neighboring Guinea via Yekipai to disrupt vote counting process were also arrested by the police support unit of the Liberian National Police. Tuesday, November 14, presidential runoff election and elsewhere in the country was marred by poll turnout of voters. Several polling precincts visited by New Down on polling day, Tuesday, including My Display Public Highs, My Display Public Schools Center, 33.122 Gapley Center Code, 33.04 Boloto Time. Among others were virtually empty as voters trekked one by one to cast their ballots, unlike the fresh round of the voting on October 10. So with this being said, we run strictly to Front Page African newspaper. Front Page African newspaper. Young Liberian whistle wins $24,620 from Winners Incorporated. Young Liberian whistle wins $24,620 from Winners Incorporated. Young Liberian Madison Wise was a happy man over the weekend when he won for himself $24,620 United States dollars from Winners Betting Company. Wise, who regularly bet a record as the biggest individual winning to have won from Winners Betting Incorporated since the launch of the sport betting company operations in Liberia. Madison Wise, a pop designer, waggled 160 and won 24,620, the largest sum of money ever won by a single person, according to Winners' record. We told the media that he has been betting for a long time and does so every day, but he has been fortunate enough to win the huge prize he has been hoping for. But he did not give up because betting is all about taking chance and making predictions in the hope of winning. Among other things, analysis. Players' analysis and statistical analysis must be taken into account when predicting the matches, and Wizard performed his predictions accurately, he added. According to him, he had been putting normal bets on the ticket until he discovered the handicap. When I started betting with Winners, I used to play the normal game like the straight bet. After a while, I found out that to win big, you have to take handicap tickets. So I switched to handicap draw and have been playing it for the past 3 months, we said. Handicap betting in football is an altercation in the betting odds in order to even out the game that an uneven a football handicap gives team an imaginary goal advantage or disadvantage before the start of the game. In doing so, the odds of winning in the game change. Wise also holds a record of winning the highest amount on a single ticket, something he said motivated him to continue the trend of betting before winning the 20K. He won $9,603 on November 6th after wagering 20 from 8 games out on a single ticket, winning a total of $34,223 from Winners Incorporated is just a truly testimony of how the betting company is transforming lives in Liberia. In addition to providing thousands of opportunities for Liberia, Winners Incorporated, Liberia leading sporting betting company, is also transforming lives through the company's numerous betting platforms. Hundreds of Liberians have over the years become fortunate winners, taking home cash prizes that have potentially transformed their lives. So with this being said, this is how we will close down on all of our news reading and rumble straight into the issues of greater importance, particularly with regards to our electoral process in Liberia. So at this time, before we begin discussing, we would love to run strictly into entertain and a very short break where we resume. Then we will begin discussing other critical issues.
Hello there, my name is K. Lyndon Togba. I'm in search of a platform where I can get credible informations of our daily happenings in Liberia and the world at large.
Hello, Lyndon Togba. My name is Greg Courage Pa. Haven't you heard about Focal Online TV?
You say Focal Online TV?
Focal Online TV is located within a Tobo village community along the Japanese highway.
Tell me more about the platform.
This platform, called Focal Online TV Daily Edition of Inside the Print Media, does not encourage any form of dialogue between the viewers and the presenters.
Oh, you mean nobody calling there?
No, you can't call on a show. Let me talking out like when we're no calling there. So all you can do is you will listen to the news, and they can also encourage you to buy the newspaper to listen to the news in details.
But do you do viewer recognition at times?
Oh yes, we do viewer recognition. When you are watching, we notify you, and sometimes we even appreciate you on a show, telling you thank you for always following us. We also encourage you to share the live stream, because the more you share the live stream, we transform and we transition ourselves as a broadcast team as well.
Wow. So when can I better get this program you are talking about?
This program is aired every Monday to Friday at 10 a.m. to 10:45. The program runs for 45 minutes.
Wow.
And guess what?
What?
We bring you hot stories of our trending situation within our country, Liberia. Imagine hearing stories from Hot Pepper newspaper, from the Daily Observer newspaper, from Front Page Africa. Are you a lover of Front Page Africa?
Oh yes, I'm a lover of
Front Page Africa, and the Women Voices, and a lot more. Not forgetting international news, BBC,
Wow.
CNN, ABC News. We bring you headlines from those standpoints.
Wow, that is very, very, very amazing.
So we say, join us every day on the daily edition of Inside the Print Media at 10 a.m. with the headlines of top stories in our country and the world at large on Focal Online TV.
All right, folks. We are back again. It's good to be back again to talk about Liberia, every other situations regarding the growth and developments of Liberia. So we will appreciate you, those of you who are following this live broadcast, to drop in your comments. I see David Mensah following from Ivory Coast. I want to say welcome, David. Keep following this broadcast for more interesting development relative to Liberia's progress. So let's go to the issue. So on the 24th of October, the National Elections Commission declared a runoff open for all for the two parties that acquire the highest vote. At that time, the ruling coalitions of Democratic Change, which is seeking re-election, was pronounced as the winner of the first round of the elections, coupled with followed by the Unity Party. So, Article 83 of the Constitution is very clear. It says that in an event where all of the presidential candidate does not, or a single presidential candidate does not reach the required prescriptions by the Constitution, a runoff must be declared involving the two parties that have the highest vote. So on October 24, 2023, the chairpersons of the National Elections Commission declared a runoff open between the Unity Party and that of the ruling coalitions for Democratic Change. At that time, since that declaration, there has been a whole lot of political attractions. So it was earlier announced that on the 14th, Liberians will actually go to the poll to vote their presidential candidate of their choice. So particularly on the 14th of November, I observed a lot of irregularities. I observed a lot of irregularities. But again, before we try to register all of those irregularities that I observed with regards to the voting process, I would want to thank Liberians who work very tirelessly to ensure that we arrive at this particular point. So Liberians have managed to conduct themselves on a very peaceful atmosphere since the presidential elections or campaign activity was actually declared. Everybody conducted themselves on a very peaceful atmosphere, even though there were some issues, but largely they were able to conduct themselves on a very peaceful atmosphere. So I want to also use this opportunity to congratulate all of the paramilitary organizations, that work tirelessly, particularly the Dome Security, the Justice Minister, Councillor Frank Musa Dean, Patrick Sudu, and the boss at the immigrations, and all of those folks who were assigned to keep their eye on the electoral process. I want to say congratulations to all of you. So let's look at some other things. So initially, the Unity Party and that of the ruling coalitions of Democratic Change said it would be prudent for the sake of transparency that each one of their party observers who will be deployed at the various polling centers be in possession of the FRR, which is the final registration rule. And that particular document is very, very important. That particular document is very, very important because it contains the name of the voter, the picture of the voter, and some essential details. So normally when you go vote, so Unity Party was actually saying that this is how it should have been. So the two parties agreed. But during the course of the meeting, one party showed up, but another party didn't show up. So because of such, the National Elections Commission has made it very clear that because the two and one party did not show up, they cannot make any decision that will embarrass the other party. I think the National Elections Commission was very right in that particular judgment, because if two of us sign up to a particular thing and we wrote a communication acknowledging that X, Y, and Z should be done, and it was not agreed upon by the three parties, that is to say the management of the National Elections Commission and the two parties involved, I think it would have been totally unjust that a particular party did not show up, then the National Elections Commission will endorse that particular thing. So there have been a series of issues relative to that particular thing, that somebody should call when a voter enters the hall, their name should be made mention. So another thing that the National Elections Commission chairperson stressed, which of course I think is very, very important, it has to do with the fact that when you look at the person who normally receives the voter card, where the person is oftentimes seated, like when I went to vote, by the time I presented my card, the person called their name, and everyone was able to look through the FFR and they were able to mark me. So at some point in time, it became an issue. It actually became an issue. So I want to also thank the both party for being more tolerant in allowing that the process was able to go on. Now that the election is over, we were actually touring. We're actually providing, we're moving from one polling center, especially those vote-rich areas. But one thing I have observed is that the turnout on the 14th of November was extremely, extremely poor within Montserrat County. The turnout was very, very poor. There were other people that I interviewed, and they were actually trying to provide their own justifications on why they go. And I think their justification, where in some instances could be considered, because during the presidential and legislative elections, you will have a lot of people trucking people to their respective voting areas. So whenever a runoff election is determined, you don't necessarily see those people who were normally, who were previously trucked coming back. Apparently, the person may have achieved what they were actually aspiring for. Sometimes the person, may not have achieved what they were aspiring for, and they do not have that kind of. They will not want to go, into extra expenses to bring these people back. And many a times the voters who agree to be trucked, in as much that they are not going to benefit from whatever thing they will say, and for me, I'm going to vote to that particular place. Those were some of the justifications for the reasons why the November 14 runoff elections were significantly marked by a poor turnout. But one thing I observed so far is that, unlike the other challenges that most people were actually complaining about during the first round of the elections, I think the National Elections Commissions were able to improve most of their staffs, they have their capacity in handling issues. Because when I went to vote, and other people who went to vote, the process was very swift. The process was very, very swift. But there is my disappointment. The Constitution makes it very clear that by 8 a.m. in the morning, people should be having access to vote. By 6 p.m. in the evening, all voting precincts should be closed. But in an event where people have been standing in line for hours, there will automatically be a consideration. Those people who have been standing in line for hours will actually be considered, to vote. But here's what, I'm very disappointed over the fact that both parties over the last few days, over the last few hours, are expressing jubilations relative to the recent presidential elections without awaiting the official results from the National Elections Commission. I think it is totally wrong. The only institution clause with the responsibility to announce election results in this country is the National Elections Commission. So even though yesterday press briefing in which portion of the results were announced, it doesn't give the ground to the folks in the Unity Party, considering that they have a marginal lead. It doesn't give the ground to the folks in the Unity Party to start celebrating. They should be fully cognizant of the fact that That is a progressive report. That is a progressive report. Anything can happen because 1,000 plus polling places were being announced on yesterday. The total number of polling places is 5,890. We should stop this. And particularly to the ruling party, I think the ruling party, like every other political institutions in this country, should be more mature in the way, in the form and manner in which they conduct themselves. The very first political parties that I saw celebrating was the ruling party. And I think it is totally wrong. Why it is true that when the polling stations are closed, your observers have a copy of the tally sheet that contains the official stamp of the National Elections Commission. But I think it is totally wrong to be celebrating when you have not heard any results from the National Elections Commission. So the Unity Party went and followed. So what the Unity Party did, I expected the Unity Party to have behaved more mature than what the ruling party have done. But thankfully that the U.S. Embassy, through the Secretary of State, has reiterated its stance of exercising whatsoever mandate they believe they can exercise. I believe that if anyone thinks they can undermine the peace and stability of Liberia, America will definitely hunt you. It is about time that ECOWAS remain more active. All of those African organizations, it is about time you guys need to be more active and effective in doing your job. It is about time that the security, the joint security, needs to be very active and vigilant in their operations. They have been very vigilant from the onset, and this is about time they need to be overly vigilant, overly proactive. So while the result is still going on, I would want to advise Liberians with respect to whatsoever political differences you belong to, or whatsoever political party you belong to, let us exercise restraint, let us exercise patience, and wait on the National Elections Commission to conclude the final activity before we start celebrating. It is good to celebrate. It is actually good to celebrate. But let's wait. The chairperson of the National Election Commission has a targeted days to do her work. Let's start jumping the gun. Let's stop jumping the gun. Let's stop running ahead of the National Elections Commission. Because all of those behaviors are not good. So because we are pressed up with time, we will definitely call this a day. Thanks to all of you who have been following this live broadcast. This is the program Inside the Print Media on the Pride of District 13. We are by far the most independent radio stations, media institutions in District 13. We owe no loyalty to any political party. We say it as it happened. So in the coming hours, You will have one of our reporters there at the headquarters of the National Elections Commission, purposely aimed at informing the Liberian people as it relates to the progressive tally reports that will be announced by the chairpersons of the National Elections Commissions in the coming days. So, folks, my name is K. Lyndon Toba. Better still, you can search for me on Facebook, K. Lyndon Toba, and perhaps you can still do business with Focal Online TV. We are located right at the Topo Village Junction, right at the Topo Village Junction, adjacent the Orange Tower. So, this note, this is how I would choose to call this broadcast a day. Bye bye from my end.